when you start out in business, it's unbelievably hard. And the reason that business owners at the highest levels get compensated the way they do is because they were able to make it through that period. They earn the right to earn more in a day than people earn in their lifetimes. You have to learn how to behave in hard circumstances so that you can continue to make it through the hardships that will inevitably come as you grow. And growth comes from a deficiency between your current and desired, or your current and required. You need to be here and you're here, and that stretch hurts because you're inadequate. You have to look at yourself in the mirror and be like, I'm not good enough. And they call them growing pains for a reason. And so if you're like, man, I wish I could grow really fast, you're actually wishing for a tremendous amount of pain for an extended period of time. And then when people don't have that, or they hit their first pain, they're somehow surprised that it hurts. And the thing of the pain of business is it's not just like this visceral physical pain. Of course you have those from time to time, but a lot of the pain of being in business is not knowing the fuck you're doing and feeling like an idiot. Being like, why am I not good enough? Why do these other people, why are they doing so much better than me? Like, what conclusions can I derive from that? There's only one of two paths. Either I have something outside of my control that I can cast my blame to, or I have to take the punch to my ego and say, I'm just not that good. That guy's better because he's unethical. Okay, sure, if that's what makes you feel better, and now what? And so the things that make it hard is that, one, you have to accept that you're not good, and you have to do it over and over and over again. Right when you think you're good again, the world proves to you that you're not as good as you think you are.
Michael Jordan played 15 years, won 6 championships. The other 9 years was a failure. It's a wrong question. There's no failure in sports. You know, there's good days, bad days. Some days you are able to be successful, some days you're not. Some days it's your turn, some days it's not your turn. And that's what sports is about. You don't always win. Some other people's gonna win. And this year, somebody else is gonna win. Simple as that. We're gonna come back next year, try to be better, try to build good habits, try to play better, not have a 10-day stretch with playing bad basketball, you know, and hopefully we can win a championship. So 50 years from 1971 to 2021 that we didn't win a championship, it was 50 years of failures? No, it was not. It was steps to it, you know, and we were able to win one, hopefully we can win another one.
The game of business has been going on since the dawn of time. There were merchants in ancient Egypt 5,000 years ago that were in the game of business. And the game of business will never end. It's an infinite game. Who was the number one merchant in Egypt 5,000 years ago? No idea. Who was the number one merchant 4,000, 2,000, 1,000 years ago, 200 years ago? No one knows. And so we have this idea that we're somehow going to become number one. But I'm like, at what? At net worth? And then eventually your kids become trust fund kids? And then that gets divided up 10 more ways because no one's got game like you? And eventually you've got 8 family members on the Forbes list? Okay. And none of them are the ones that actually made it, and none of them know how to multiply because they aren't in the game, they never learned the skills of the game? Like, if you see the game as constant, only thing that changes is the players.
I think a lot of entrepreneurship and even personal growth is training yourself on how you respond to hard. Because in the early days, hard was, ooh, stop, this isn't good. I should, this is a warning sign, this is a red flag. I should slow down, or I should stop, I should pivot. But the more I think about it as a competitive landscape, as I'm clear on what this path is supposed to look like, and these rocks and these dragons are things that I'm gonna have to slay along the way to get the princess or get the treasure, I get happier about the harder it is because I know that no one else will follow.
It's a selection effect.
And I think if you can shift from this is hard to no one else will be able to do this, then it flips from being this thing that you're like, oh, poor me, to oh, poor everyone else who's gonna have to fucking try. And I think that is so much more motivating as a frame for the exact same circumstance.
Yeah, that's awesome.
There is a difference between passion and obsession. And high performers have obsession about the topic, right? They are obsessed about the topic in which they're trying to learn, master, grow into. When you're passionate, everybody cheers you on. They're stoked for you. Oh, you found your passion? Awesome. Follow your passion. Live with passion. Be passionate. Chase your passions. Everything, like passion. Passion's good. Like the world's gonna be like, yay, passion. When you're obsessed, they're like, why you gotta be so crazy? Why can't you be satisfied? Why do you always gotta get things so perfect? Why do you spend so much time here? When you're obsessed, people think you're nuts. So it's different. And it's like, I always tell people, if no one thinks you're crazy, you're not yet operating to the outer limits of your potential. You're not there yet. Because somebody in your life should say, man, you really care about this in like a crazy way.
Mom used to say this thing, which was, and this I doubt this is her quote, but the news is always the same, only the names change. So think about that. So you look at the headlines, right? It's like, bankers get greedy. Sound like new news? No, they just changed the names. You know, jealous husband kills wife then self. Same news. It's not even news. It's just humans being human. And so business news is also the same way. Hot new technology comes out, grows really fast, find out actually not good, crashes quickly. Investors lose millions. This stuff is the same. Boy learns how to sell. Boy learns how to advertise. Boy learns how to make product. Boy eventually makes lots of money. Boy eventually gets old, tries to, give back to a certain degree, becomes a philanthropist, old in his age, retreats a little bit. The next of kin comes in line, not as good as that person, maintains, third generation destroys. It's just humans doing human shit, right? And so I say this because a lot of the hardship of business is comparing yourself and labeling that comparison and saying that I'm not better or worse than these people, but all the players on the board are gonna get swapped in 100 years. All the players, the whole board gets wiped. The game still goes on, but the players change. If you can actually give yourself a pat on the back as long as you do one thing, which is that you stay in the game. You keep playing, you keep rolling the dice.
You be that warrior in that garden. All right? And you stand strong. You be a strong man. You be a good man. And you just let the world rage around you.
There's a quote that I love from Dr. Cashy. I'll probably butcher it, but experts have more ways to win than beginners do. And so if an expert goes into any setting that they're expert in, they have so many faster feedback loops that reward them in the moment before the ultimate outcome. So if you're a master video editor, there's so many things that you can do that while editing, you make one change and then it looks right, you have a positive feedback loop. And so I think when you're on the start path, you can't look at the outcome as the only positive because you will never make it. And so the positive frame that I've always used is, sure, you can have the external ones of like, I like thinking about my first videos had like 13 views. And I'm like, well, if I had an audience of 13 people, I used to spend years pitching, weight loss stuff to rooms of 13 and that was fine. And so thinking about that way was helpful. But the most helpful frame was thinking about who I was becoming as the asset that I was building. So in real time, whenever I finished a long day's work, I was becoming more like the type of person who could work for 5 years without reward. And that would be part of the story I would someday tell. And so some of the biggest reinforcers I've had in my life has been future casting the story that I would tell about the shitty period that I was in. Like I remember when I was sleeping on the floor at my gym because I didn't have enough money for 2 rents. And I was like, I will fucking tell this story. And when I lost everything for the first time, I have the screenshot of the bank account. Like when I show it, people are like, oh, look, there's that thing. But they forget that there was a person who screenshotted it to be like, this won't fucking happen again. And I think having a larger narrative of where you're ultimately going, one, gives you the vision of where you're knows where he's going, but it allows the dragons that you have to slay along the way, the hard things that you have to overcome, to feed into the larger narrative of the story that you'll someday tell. And so no one ever tells stories about the hero who made it all happen immediately and had no hardships. No one cares, right? Like, okay, you were born to a billionaire. Is there a story there? Not really. But everyone loves the story because we can see ourselves in the character and how much we hope to be like them. And it's the being like them, not the having what they have, that we usually like. And so reframing ourselves as the hero of that narrative in my harder times was what really got me through that, and thinking, I will tell this story someday.